Ladies and gentlemen, back in the building, another Tuesday. So What Mornings. That's DJ Mr. Number Wonderful on the ones and twos. Real vinyl, real music. Well, real hip-hop anyway. Well, I guess hip-hop is real music, don't you think? We're back for another great show. I'm joined by my good friend, Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen. You guys got to go get this book. Let me hold it like a Price is Right model. Right? You got to go get the book. It's very important. It's a great book because this is something most of us do not do in our relationships, and then we turn around and blame the other person because we were waiting in line on a conveyor belt just to say our piece and not really listening to when they're talking. So this is a great piece of work. Dr. Mark Goulston, Just Listen. How to break through to anyone. It's important. He's here with us right now. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. You know, with the East Coast, I think it's really important that people not only talk but listen to each other. And there's a saying someone told me that you haven't really listened to someone until they exhale.
Oh, yeah.
And because when you listen to someone and they really feel heard, they relax. And that's good because a lot of people are feeling rather uptight now.
Yeah.
And I think people need to be able to sort of relax so that they can think clearly about what they need to do.
Right. So let's do this really quickly because of the events that have gone down on the East Coast regarding Sandy. I want to throw it over to our crack reporter. I'm going to give her just dues today. She looks delicious, and, you know, she's getting a lot of love on YouTube and Facebook. People are hitting me. Who is the pretty chocolate goddess reading the news stories? Well, she's had her hair feathered and whippy woo-wooed, and she looks delicious once again. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Chuck Doe in the building. Mercedes Bryant, please talk to us about what's happening on the East Coast.
Yeah, so Superstorm Sandy, it slammed the East Coast basically on Monday. And when Sandy hit the East Coast, it was merged with winter system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was also fed by cold air from Canada. So it created like a really super storm, and about a record-breaking of 13-foot surge of seawater hit New York and knocked out the power for 7.5 million people across the East Coast.
Wow.
And it's an estimated 5 billion to 88 billion, I believe, of damage.
Yeah.
Which is still 20 billion less than Hurricane Katrina was, but that's still like a really big dent.
Yeah.
And so far, Sandy's claimed 69 deaths in the Caribbean before it even traveled to the East Coast, and 33 lives in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is tough, but this is part of life, right? How does a family, say, living in we're in Los Angeles, and a lot of times there's this, we have this lazy view about, natural disasters, but they happen here too. How does a family or a couple or someone in a relationship go about preparing themselves for the natural disaster? We prepare ourselves for the car accident by getting car insurance, or for, whatever damage to our apartment by getting renter's insurance or home insurance. Well, how do we insure against the natural disaster, Doc? Give us some tips.
A good friend of mine wrote a book called Workarounds That Work, Russell Bishop. You should check it out, Workarounds That Work. And if you actually go to my site, markgoulston.com, I have a blog about these 5 steps to deal with any disaster. And his 5 steps would be, the first thing is, you got to accept that it happened. It's not a bad dream. Because a lot of people can waste a lot of time and energy. Now, it's only natural and human to say, why this, why me, how come, it's not fair. But the more energy that you put into that dark hole, it just exhausts you.
Right.
So you think it's going to make you feel better to vent about that, and maybe a little venting's okay, but you got to
can't harp on it.
Yeah, you got to preserve things.
Right.
So the step that Russell points out that's really critical is you got to own it. And then the second step is the most important thing, and maybe you need to talk to other friends about it. And what he says is, given that this has happened and it's not a bad dream, what is the best outcome 24 hours from now, a few days from now, a few months from now? Because a lot of times what happens is people can't see into their future.
And they can't see past this negative moment that they're currently existing in. Right.
So, for instance, if what he might say is, what's the best outcome 24 hours from now? So the best outcome 24 hours from now, if you're there on the East Coast, is that we find some way to get food and water, make sure that our food and water is okay, get an update on power, or where to get power, whether it's to tap into to getting batteries, if you can find a generator, sharing things with your neighbors. Resist the temptation to bunker. Go out there and help each other. And there are actually 5 steps. So you own it. The second step is what's the best outcome in 24 hours, in this case 3 days, 3 months, maybe a year. And then the third step is what he calls control, meaning what is something that you can do without needing anyone else's permission. What is a phone call or something that you can do without waiting for anyone else or needing anyone else to tell you whether you can do that or not, because that gives you a sense of control to get whatever that outcome is. And then the fourth step is what do you need from other people to do? So he would call that influence. Who do you need to influence to be able to get whatever it is that you figured you want to happen 24 hours from now? And then the fifth step is he calls response-ability. And what that means is, what are you going to do? What is your ability to respond? Given all these 5 steps, accepting it, what's the best outcome? What do you have control over that you can do on your own? Who do you need to influence and how are you going to influence them? And the final step, okay, what are you going to do? What's your responsibility? I think that can really help you get through things. And I think that's
pretty good.
Pretty good. Keep it simple.
And let me add on to what the doc is saying, because it sounds like he just outlined a positive attitude is really a lifesaver in a natural disaster. Because you got to just assess and accept, okay, this is what it is. Now let me pull myself up and survive and do the things necessary to survive. So that's good information. Another thing, East Coast roll call. I want some people who listen to the show, if you have access to internet, if you still have your cell phones up, if you can still hear the show, reach out to us and let us know that you're okay. 323-965-1600. Let us know what you're doing to cope. Let us know what you're doing to just get through this moment, because I know it's tough. I know it's a rough situation, but call us. 323-965-1600. All our people out there, RMC, Reach Around Radio, Bishop Don Juan, Dub C, Zoe What, everybody a part of this RMC family. If you listen to the shows here, please call me today, right now, and let me know that you're okay on the East Coast, 323-965-1600. Another thing, West Coast, wake up. Don't fall asleep thinking it can't happen to us, because we've been waiting on the big one for a long time. And there are ways to prepare for that. There's earthquake kits. And there's something that you can go on you can go on Amazon.com right now, $100. 4-day supply of water, lights, flashlights, all kind of food, provisions. It's called a bug out bag, right? There's a television show that is based on these people who are doomsday kind of people preparing for these natural disasters to hit. So I think it's on the either TLC Learning Channel or it's the Discovery Channel. But it just chronicles the lives of these people who are preparing for this, imminent disaster. And I'm not trying to make everybody feel bad and bring them down. I'm just saying preparedness is next to, in my opinion, it's the closest thing you can have to surviving. It's going to help you to survive. Well, bug out bags.
I think there was a step between that and what we can do to prepare. I think, what can we do to help the East Coast? Because we are all kind of, brothers and sisters in this. And had a discussion with a bunch of friends that I meet with every Monday. And we're talking about these kinds of things. And when people are going through rough times, don't say to them, how can I help? What you do is just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
You see something.
You see something.
And you do it.
And you do it. So if you're thinking they need water, food, power, whatever, find out the best way to get it to them if you live outside the area, or where you can contribute to actually just do it. But it was
wow. Let me stop you for 1 second. Somebody from Frankfurt, Germany, just responded to my roll call.
Really?
Zoe Williams, VOR. We hear you here in Frankfurt, Germany through RMC. Glad you tweeted. Glad you're getting ready to go live. We're 9 hours ahead of Cali. So that's good. Hey, if you're on the East Coast and you have access to the cell phone, the internet, whatever, please reach out to us. 323-965-1600. The website, again, is rmconair.com. Get at us. Let us know what's going on. I'm about to take a quick break. When we come back, though, topics. You know how we do with these topics. We like to go in. We like to give our perspective. But throughout the entire show, East Coast Roll Call. Call us and let us know you're okay. Zoe What Mornings, the philosopher, the comedian, and the doctor. This is what we do every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be back in 2.2. Holla at you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe What Morning's back in the building, having a great time, and he walks in again. The light bulb went out. Oh, Jesus. Geoff Brown has finally made it. Zoe What Mornings, the philosopher, the comedian, and the doctor, back in the building. Listen, I need you guys to do this for me right now. Text ZO space 90210. Text ZO space 90210. That's how you get in contact with me. You can connect with me on Twitter. You can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn. You can connect to my personal website. You can get my email address. Y'all want to holler at me. All of that is available to you through a simple text. ZO space 90210. Right? Get at me, because I'm telling you, my new book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Breaking Up with Someone, is absolutely bonkers. And we're editing it right now. Don't make me pull out my cell phone and read. This is a hot excerpt from it, but it's crazy. So that's how you're going to find me. That's how you're going to get the book. That's how you're going to be able to participate. The next step, I just want to listen to the tracks in the background. I just want to give shouts out to DJ Mr. Number Wonderful in the building. Chuck Doe, our crack reporter, as well as producer intern.
Studious Chocolate.
Studious Chocolate, if she ever goes stripper. And I'm just saying, if it's ever an option.
I'm saving my singles right now.
Yes, but I also want to reiterate, we're sending nothing but love out to the East Coast. Nothing but love and prayers. Sandy is a beast, man. It tore some stuff down, and this is just a reminder that God ain't no joke. So yeah, let's pay attention, man. Let's pray and send love and make sure that everybody makes it out. And for those who didn't make it out, for the lives lost, we're sending nothing but condolences and love out to the family. So now, back to the business of what the Zoe What Morning Show is about. Let me introduce Geoff Brown. I want to say thank you for finally making it.
Oh man, I'm early for Geoff Brown.
Wrong. What you are is fraudulent and unprofessional. But it's okay. Week after week, he walks in while we're recording.
I got babies.
I got babies too.
No, I got like little babies.
You still having them?
I'm still having them.
What are you, like the male version of the female alien? You got like this big baby sack tied to you?
Yeah, I got like my sperm.
I don't want to know about your. I don't want to know about your sperm. Chuck Doe, next story. Let's go. I don't want to know about this.
About my monkey spank.
No. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so we have a teen named Felicia Garcia. She was 15 years old, and she was from Staten Island, New York. And she hopped in front of a train and killed herself.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, she was being bullied. She made a sex tape with a few of the football players. She didn't know she was being recorded, but they recorded her, and it went viral, and she was embarrassed and made fun of and harassed.
But this is so bad on so many different levels.
I don't even know where to start.
Because what type of amateur porn operation was she doing? And I can understand why she would feel shame and all of this and that, but what you were making a porn basically.
But she didn't know.
She didn't know. They recorded her.
But
the days of having a train run on you in secret is gone.
Yeah, technology is too crazy. Privacy is dead now. So, I mean, think of the phenomena of sexting, right? Where you take a picture, and everybody has it now. And you send it through these digital means. And then you have to understand that email, text messages, and all of that, according to the United States law, is now seen as mail. Like regular mail that you get in the mail.
So the mail rules, like you can't
they don't ever go anywhere. It's always there, a record of it. Even if you delete it off your phone, they now have devices where you can put in your phone in the same slot that the SIM card goes in, and it records everything that the phone has ever done. So even if it's deleted, it can still be pulled back up. So that's what I'm saying. I feel for the young girl, and I can understand, and maybe we could throw this to the doc. Let's talk about the powerful feelings of shame and guilt that could lead someone to take their own life, especially in the context of bullying.
Yeah, Chuck, what was the thing? Repeat the thing that that really got to her, the last straw.
She was having sex with like a few of the boys on the football team at one time, and they recorded her without her knowing, and they leaked the tape basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no Kim Kardashian fame for that.
There's a good friend of mine, Lisa Kravitz, and she has something called the Farley Project, Farley, and she was bullied as a middle schooler, and so she's taking this around to inner city schools, and what she's actually having them do is she's having the bullies, she's teaching them how to apologize, and and really teaching them to get a sense of what they did, because you don't really know what you've done until you can actually see the pain of someone else and then feel it. In terms of what drove her to this, well, I think there is something about humiliation and shame which you can't hide from, and think of it this way: if you're someone who, in order to feel good about yourself, does something, shall we say, like has sex with a bunch of people in order to feel good about yourself, then there's probably something going on where you're kind of brittle, and if you go the other way, in which people then make fun of you. So you go from one moment thinking you're pretty special for whatever reason, and then it turns out that everyone's laughing at you. You can sort of understand how some people just couldn't recoup from that, but I just think it's awful.
That's heartbreaking right there at the end of the day.
I hear these stories, I just think they're awful.
That's just heartbreaking. Geoff, let me ask you, to what level would you need to be embarrassed or shamed that you would consider taking your own life?
Well, let's start with the fact that I have absolutely no shame. So there's a hole right there. I have this.
What if you were the Ving Rhames character in Pulp Fiction?
And somebody took my manhood?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for that dude to strip naked of his skin and make a pencil box out of his legs. Out of his leg bones. Make a pencil box where you like keep your pencils on your desk. I'm not
Geoff.
No, I'm serious, dude. When I thought about it, everybody sit down and figure out what their threshold is. I think the only thing that could push me over the edge is to lose one of my children first. Okay, other than that, I can't think of nothing that would make me take my own life.
Could a relationship, a lost relationship, a heartbreak, could that push you?
Hell no.
You don't care enough.
No,
okay,
exactly.
Geoff. Dr. Mark.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you guys something. Because I've done a lot of work in suicide, and I was a suicide interventionist for a number of years.
Yes.
Something I've observed, now maybe it's changed, is I think men more often become suicidal right close to humiliation. That's why when a man thinks he's going to be caught for a crime or something like that, the fear of humiliation is so awful to men because their ego is tied to pride, and the worst thing you can feel is humiliated in front of everyone. Well, usually when women commit suicide, and I don't know if this was true for this sad young girl, they're doing it to get rid of the pain. Men do it to get rid of the shame. And often when women commit suicide, they just feel this incredible pain that they can't bear. But a lot of men, when they commit suicide, it's because it's painful, but they don't feel it as pain. They feel this sense of shame and humiliation, and the embarrassment is just it's just unlivable with.
And these two breakdowns are not.
Does that make any sense?
It does
That
make
makes
sense,
perfect
but
sense.
these two are not monolithic. Of course, men feel pain and women feel shame, but he's saying in general.
Well,
It's more of a pain issue for women and more of a shame issue for men. But I think at some point they bleed into each other too. So.
I would lean more towards what you said about the woman's side of why they would take their own lives personally. Me, like, I would have to, I can't imagine the pain of nobody should have to bury their own children. And that's the only thing I think that I can fathom that would push me that way, because I have such a personal level of kiss my assitude that
Kiss my ass.
kiss my assitude.
Well, at least
There
we're not
is
swearing.
nothing-
We're not swearing. That's good. I think you slipped that in.
There is nothing in my life that I can think of that if somebody knew, somebody else in an earth suit, somebody else who
An earth suit.
Yes, that everybody in here got a secret
This guy.
that they wish, that they hope never come out. So
You don't really
Go
care.
deeper.
because mine is out now. You get to look at me.
Well,
No,
why don't you
screw
do this? Since you don't care, kiss my attitude.
Yeah,
Give us a secret.
a secret.
One of your deepest, darkest, ugliest, nigrophilic secrets.
We were so poor when I was in my freshman, sophomore year of high school in Chicago that we didn't have the money for heat. So a lot of times I couldn't take a bath, and I used to stink at school.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Now what? See, there. Now that we're here.
I have a terrible secret.
Now that we're here.
I think we should all just let out a few secrets.
Yeah. No. But now what? So what? So now that I said it.
This is a secret I've never told, so I think I'm going to let
And
it
guess
out.
what you're going to do?
It's
You're
about to
gonna
be terrible.
You're going to take away the power that secret has for someone else.
No,
over
it's
you.
about to be really bad.
Throw it out, pimp.
It was 1979, and I was just out here from Chattanooga.
From Tennessee.
I was 8 years old.
Hey, how you
I was a
doing?
third grader.
8-year-olds old, green eyes.
I used to hop the gate because our school was right next to our apartment building. I just had to hop the gate and I was at school.
Ching-a-ling-ling.
And it was one of them weird kind of schools. It was an alternative school, right? Right? It was crazy. Alternative school where you get to call the teachers by their first name.
Wow.
Hey, Debbie. Hi. How are you? I'm good. Coming to class. Yeah, you feel special today? You feel like learning? Yeah, I think I do. It was one of those kind of, it was one of those kind of classes, right? One of those kind of schools, anyway. And there was this beautiful, I'll never forget her. She was a beautiful girl that lived in these apartment buildings. And I think she was like in the 10th grade. She gave
You
me
was
fellatio.
She gave you head?
So
It
are you-
changed
are
my
you ashamed
whole
of that or proud of that?
You know what? For a long time, I felt weird about it because I was 8. What are you doing to my little Woody?
Okay, back
What's
up.
happening?
Back up.
Oh, but this is so feeling
Back up.
right, but wrong.
That's not a secret.
We were in a no one has
That's
ever known
a great
this.
story.
I'm
now,
just
if
saying.
you told me, now if you said your uncle
But
did
it no. Oh,
That's
and bada
a secret. That's
boosha.
what's wrong with Zoe.
No,
He don't
but it
know
was
what his
weird.
secrets
No,
are.
but it was. I never told anybody. It was weird. We were in an abandoned apartment, and she sucked me off.
You should have. Oh wow, I can't say, but you can say that, dude. You should. I'm telling you, you should have
Jeff
told
is
some
right.
people.
Jeff is right.
You should have told some people.
I didn't want to tell
You should've
anybody. I
told
felt
your
weird.
friends.
Well, you just told everyone.
Well, yeah, we've given up
No,
secrets,
you
and
know
now
what-
it's your turn.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whitey Locks, come on
Yeah,
in,
let's
doctor.
go.
No.
I will not.
No, what Jeff just brought up is a good point. I think what's a tough secret to tell is something that you did or failed to do that makes you feel less about yourself.
Oh, you mean like when I set the apartment on fire?
Yeah,
We can get it deep and dark in here. I'll shoot another one out. I'll shoot
Yeah.
a horrible one out.
Okay, well, I'll do that. I set the apartment on fire.
No.
Now, let me tell you.
Oh, you was the one, but you didn't.
I never told him.
Okay.
He's half in the confession. Let him go.
Yeah.
So what happened was, we had a pit bull. His name was Duke. Everybody had a pit bull named Duke,
or
right?
King.
Right? And he was Sandy Brown. But Duke was trained to only respond to a certain whistle. So we were wondering, why is Duke barking? So we did the special whistle. And Duke came to us, and he had a bunch of bumps on his face.
You burn up.
No, he was being attacked by some bees. So what I did, was get a stick, and I found an old dirty diaper and stuck the stick in the diaper and set it on fire. And this is when diapers were plastic.
Yeah.
So now I'm burning the bees in the carport.
Okay.
But the diaper is dripping plastic onto some brush.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
The brush catches on fire. The tree catches on fire next to the carport. And me, my cousin, and my brother are running back and forth with cups of water.
Oh, wow.
And each time we come back, the fire is
3
bigger
feet higher
and bigger. So finally we conclude, let us just leave. We left a whole apartment building full of people in dire peril because it was all on fire at the time.
You know there's no.
So we just left.
You know there's no statute of limitations on arson. You
So,
shouldn't have said that.
so let me just say what happened. 2-3 hours later, we come back. There are fire trucks, and they're putting the fire out. And we just walk up like, hey, what's happening? What's going on? What's the deal? My sister comes out. These niggas! It was them! That's how it went. All of them did it. It was,
you, fireman, put the hose down.
all right, them. That's my secret. I have a lot of them. So.
Well, it's not a secret. If
I've
your
done a
sister
lot of
dined
stuff.
you out.
Okay, next topic. The doc ain't going to give us a secret.
No, he let that ride on.
Well,
by.
let's just do it. Doc, are you going to give us a secret?
Nope.
I know you did something.
I
come
cheated
on.
on my taxes in '89.
Right.
I have the.
I don't have any underwear.
I don't know if I did this. I don't know if I did this or I didn't do it. But
okay, Doc. Now you're setting it up like Bill Clinton. I did not have sex. Let's define sex. Come on, Doc. Tell us what you did.
I don't know if I did this or I didn't. But when I was, I'm a medical doctor. When I was a medical intern, I keep having nightmares that. That I put the wrong IV in a person or something, and it was
malpractice. Here we go.
But I don't think it's true, but I don't know, and it's one of those things I haven't really checked out, and and it's one of those kind of things. But what an interesting thing that our team did. This I was working at the county hospital, and this just shows you about the sort of the humbleness of the salt of the earth kind of people. And what happened is one of the people on our team, pretty sure it wasn't me because
you're telling the story?
Yeah, there's some bull going down right now. The doc is like
man, you were tiptoeing around this. Get to it, Doc.
I done threw myself on the fire.
No, anyway,
right?
There was this.
I done confessed to stinking.
There was this poor homeless fella at the county hospital, and he was given this incredible medicine that was 10 times the dose it should be. And so the head resident, and I was an intern, there were other people on it, so I guess we're all responsible, and the head resident said, he's in the ICU, and we got to tell him that we gave him something, and it's a good thing it didn't kill him, but we have to own up to him that we made a mistake. And this just shows you the way that some of the salt of the earth, decent, just down and out people, they just look at basic things. So I remember we went into the room and we said, we gave you the wrong medicine, and that's why you're in the ICU.
Okay,
and he said, and he looks at all of us, he smiles, he says, I knew as soon as you put that thing in my arm it was the wrong thing, but damn if I was going to bring it up, because I think if I gave you a second chance, you would have killed me for sure.
Wow. Doc, did you participate in the attempted murder of one of your patients?
Wow.
I'm just going to throw you out there. Now, we're going to go to the next topic, and I'm going to pick it. There's a story out there, and Chuck Doe is going to read it. It's about virginity being for sale?
Yes.
You mean
I already put in a bid.
I'm just saying, you mean Virginia is on the market?
It's always been.
What's the market value of Virginia?
No.
323-965-1600. Does it rise and fall like the stock market?
What's the market value of Virginia with the seal still on it?
Oh.
Okay, because there's plenty of it with 200,000-300,000 miles on it you can go get.
No, so this is the story. Hers still has the seal. It's a young lady. She's Brazilian.
Great.
Her name is Catarina. She's 20 years old. She's from Brazil. And I guess she's into philanthropy or something because she wants to get money to build homes in Brazil in Santa Catarina. And the only way she's going to obtain all this money is by auctioning off her virginity. So she's been online auctioning her virginity to the highest bidder. And so far, a Japanese man, his name is like Natsu or something.
You mean to tell me no HIV Brazilian fresh seal still
HIV.
on? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I hate to perpetuate a myth, but if it's an Asian dude, she might still have her virginity.
Oh, damn. It's like getting a goddamn vaccination.
Her cherry just got a couple dents on it.
He's Japanese. He wants to pay her $780 million.
Hey, do his voice. Do his voice.
Is Katarina here? Do Katarina? No dude, no knocky. I pay you 500 million. No? Okay, hold on. Okay, 600 million. 700? What kind of coochie you got?
Hey.
$700 million for the coochie. $780 million for the coochie.
For the coochie?
For the coochie, $780 million.
I'm saying, does it have a value?
No, you know what? I think it's backwards. How you gonna pay somebody for that ain't never done it? Okay, that's like paying extra for a plumber who has never used his tools.
Well, let me ask you this. No, that's a great point. Let me ask you this. Is Virgin Nookie better than Veteran Nookie?
No.
323-965-1600. I'm just wondering, because a lot of people don't want to deal with Virgin Nookie because it's inexperienced.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, I've seen comedians who, after last week, I have to keep my buddies nameless because my boys called me and I caught a lot of heat from Sinbad. I can't.
Wait a minute.
Sinbad, let me just I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I just tell the story like it happened. I can't. Mark, Chuck. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have threw y'all under the bus like that. I have and these people. This is a different group of people who shall remain nameless, who used to do college shows, who can't do them anymore because these young college girls with, maybe 2-3 dudes under their belt get in the bed with a man. Okay, so I want you to think about the 20-year-old Zoe and the Zoe now with bed skills.
Yeah, the 20-year-old Zoe, you were going to get a hot, violent 7 minutes of rapture.
Okay. Now.
And then,
right.
Okay, can we go to Lucky Boys and get some chili cheese fries?
Take the girl that the 22-year-old Zoe was getting down with and put her in the bed with Zoe now.
Oh, it's a whole different
It's a whole different thing. Young girls.
You're going to get 6.5 minutes of... No, I'm just... I don't know. No. No, the grown Zoe is a different get down altogether. Body control.
All that.
All that, ejaculation control.
Viagra control.
Even the blue pill,
right.
I don't need the blue pill right now. Right. I think the doc is nearing sarcophagus age, so he might need it, but I don't need it.
No, I don't need the pill, doc. I'm good.
You know what? But I ain't gonna lie. I used Viagra one time just to see what the hype was, and let me tell you, I felt like I was about to die.
Mine scared me.
My heart was tripping, and I was hard for 4 days.
No,
I didn't even want to go outside.
I can't call it hard. What happened?
I looked like one of those Hindu gods. I had a bunch of limbs.
I can't call it hard.
I didn't know what to do with it.
My dang lang was possessed. Okay,
Dang lang.
My dang lang.
Dang lang.
It was possessed, dude.
Dang lang.
I fell asleep, and it woke up and was like, Geoff, we got more work. I'm like, dude.
Were you alone?
No.
Yeah, because that would have been really scary.
No, dude.
Geoff, put me in the socket.
It was flying around the room without me, dude. I will never do
but
that
listen,
again.
the poetess gives us a startling fact here. A study shows that Japan is the number 10, comes in at number 10 in penis size. And that's ahead of the U.S. at 11. So the myth might be wrong. Motherfuckers might want to get on a plane and go see Little Nippon.
Want to get on the plane?
What's number one?
The Congo,
Oh,
Africa. Let me beat you with my swipe.
Who thought it was Finland?
Brother Noopsie. I renounce my throne. Those niggas over there.
I don't want to say that my penis is big, but it has an elbow in it. My penis is so big, it has a penis.
It has its own penis. Oh, God.
I do not walk up and put it in a girl. I put it in a girl and walk up.
I love it. I just want to know,
Love it.
what is the overall value of it? Chuck, how would you value yours?
I wouldn't.
Yours is priceless.
Yeah.
So at what point, well, basically you would have to date Jesus to give him some then. Only Jesus could get some, right?
That'd be weird.
No, it wouldn't.
Exactly.
If he came to you and said,
Exactly.
child,
Chuck,
today is your lucky day.
that's weird, Chuck.
You've been chosen above all
Shut up.
others. I'm just saying.
No.
What if Jesus came to you? You are the Mary for today. I can only be born through you.
Shut up.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, that's backwards now.
Would
No,
you
Jesus-
turn it down?
Jesus wants some.
I would turn it down.
You would
You
turn,
would turn
Jesus
down Jesus.
I would turn it
The
down.
Son of God. You know who his daddy is? Are you tripping?
Chuck
And you know
is
what
tripping.
No, here's the sad part. You're going to turn Jesus down.
That's
But
weird.
eventually, you're going to screw some dude whose
It's
daddy just a
Jesus.
regular dude.
At some point.
At some point.
Blasphemy.
Chuck,
No,
are you
it
gonna-
isn't.
Chuck, are you going to go to the grave with it? Are you going to go to the grave
let's
and ain't going to
ask-
give nobody none?
Let's ask a veteran cooter.
Yeah.
Let's ask a veteran cooter.
Let's ask a good cooter with the
A
been through
cooter with
something.
some scales.
Let's ask a cooter that
Poetess?
woke up the next morning and went, whoo, I need to lend him some money. That was crazy.
Poetess,
Poetess?
please speak to
You
us.
know you done had it. You done had it. You know you done had it beat wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the poetess from Reach Around Radio is now in the building, and she will answer
Come on.
a couple of questions
Yeah.
regarding the value of cooter.
No, first I want you to think about that dude that every time you think about him, you wiggle in your chair a little bit.
Yeah,
You,
just
come on, you know you got to look at him.
look at that.
Look
Just
at
that
it.
little toe tap
Look at
happened.
it.
That little toe tap. Like
He probably don't even go by his real name. Got a nickname, Day-Day or Mojo or
Talk to us, Felicia.
the Hulk.
The question is, if Jesus came to you and said, you're the one for me to be reborn in, but I'm going to have to do the insemination myself, would you say yes or no?
And now stop. First, I want you to think about...
Your cooter is valued above all other cooters on planet Earth.
And I want you to think about... Have you ever gave something to some dudes that didn't deserve it? Think about them, and now think about what you finna deny the Lord. Go.
The Lord is asking for your cooter services.
It's to save mankind.
If it is to save mankind.
I will bestow upon the Lord the sacred
Well,
yogurt
Lord,
box.
if you must.
Bus off, dear God.
Oh my god.
Hey, nobody's in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
God gave us free will to speak, man.
That's right. That's right.
Doc is married. That's why he's quiet over there, huh?
I'm married.
Oh yeah.
My wife know it. My
What
wife
if
knew I
it
was
happened
ignorant.
the other way? What if a female angel appeared and said, hey,
Of course you got.
I know.
Geoff,
That's a no-brainer.
we're going to need a bus-off sample. But the only thing is you don't have to put it in a cup. you get to put it in some angelic, yogurty goodness.
Okay. Am I married or not?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It's an archangel, and
Yes, it
she's a
does.
female.
Yes, it does. Because if I'm not married, I was probably trying to mac the chick with the wings in the club already.
Now, I'm not talking about chicken wings.
No, the chick, she got wings on her? I'm already
I'm not
hollering
talking
at
about
her.
Victoria's Secret model. I'm talking about a real angel.
Oh, my God. Some angel cookies?
Whether you married or not.
Well, let's just be honest. Okay, according to myth, we are part angels anyway.
No, see, now you're getting deep. I don't
Okay.
want to get deep. I want you to get deep off in the angel.
Dude.
Now, what you gonna do?
Dude, I'm going to tell you what.
Okay, let me ask the doctor.
I'm gonna
'cause
let
you're
her
playing
have
games.
it.
You playing games.
No, I'm not.
Married or not? The
No,
doc is married.
I can't do it.
Oh, now all of us. Okay,
I can't do it.
Stop it. You
I
and Chuck.
I
Where
cheated
y'all
on
at?
my wives before. I'm not going to cheat this time.
Would it be considered cheating if it's a divine duty? Bus off for humanity.
I'd have to ask
We
my
need
wife.
another Messiah, and there's a female
I need
angel
permission.
here offering
I
up
would need
angelic
permission
twat.
from my wife. If my wife said it was cool to go knock this angel,
You would ask permission. Jeff, you're lying.
yes.
Your
No,
wife.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
Your
I'm
wife
not.
is watching, isn't she?
No, I'm not.
Let's ask the doctor. He'll give us an even more convoluted answer, I'm sure. You're married too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. If Angelic Cooter came to you and said, "Time to save the world," you got to bus off for the next Messiah. Are you in or out?
Or in and out and in and out.
I'm a Jewish boy.
We don't believe in the Messiah
don't do
anyway.
we don't have angels.
He played the Star of David card on you.
Ain't that something? The Star of David card.
Star of David card.
That's
Yeah,
genius.
SOD, the sod cut.
That's
Star
right,
of
baby.
David.
Baby blue and
Wow.
white.
Great segment. What do we have next on our line here? We got another topic, Chuck, though. I know we do. 323-965-1600. And don't forget, call in if you're an East Coast survivor. We want to know what's happening with you.
Sexual chocolate.
And don't forget to text ZO space 90210. That's how you stay in contact with me, everything that I'm doing. Oh, speaking of that, I got to do this really quickly. I'm doing a relationship roundtable this weekend, Friday, in Tempe, Arizona.
Oh, hang on.
It's going to be bananas. And then I'm doing Saturday, I'm doing this empowerment speech for a bunch of disadvantaged children who are also, orphans, and, they're just having a hard time. I'm going to do a speech about time management.
Most of y'all ain't
Stuff
going to
like
make it, but for the three,
Okay.
most of y'all,
Okay.
this speech.
Kango from UTFO. Don't listen to him. Go to the break. We're going to come back. So What Mornings. We're having a great time. 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. The philosopher, the comedian, and the doctor. So what? See you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, So What Mornings back in the building. Doc. Hey, listen. Dr. Mark Goulston. Just listen. He's the author of this incredible book.
You going to get Beyonce to sing the forward?
I mean, so many of us really need to learn how to listen to each other. I think it's very important that you support Dr. Mark Goulston. He's our resident physician, our voice of reason. He's just an old, wise Gandalf of the show, and we really love having him. He's Gandalf the Grey.
You should let me have this guy.
And then, hey, can I finish the intro? And then we have comedian Geoff Brown. He's here. We appreciate his insanity.
You need more pictures.
That's right.
And he needs pictures, and
He got one picture in
Pictures,
here.
yeah.
Of
he
him in the
needs
back.
right. He need a picture
You need
of
some pop-ups.
why? How you take a picture of somebody listening? This how
Right.
you do it. Okay. Please call us right now at 323-965-1600. We know that Hurricane Sandy has kind of affected a lot of people's telecommunication abilities. So we just want to send love and prayers out to everybody over there. Now, text ZO to space, ZO space 90210. That's how you find out everything about Zoe Williams. And before we move on to our next topic, somebody has been channeled through this spirit of Geoff Brown. Travis Bickle wants to speak on how to prove if a girl is a virgin or not. He has a foolproof way of determining one's virginity.
I've been down on every Tuesday, somehow. I'm driving down the road, trucking. And every Tuesday around the same time, I get transported into this room of niggers.
Room of niggers.
I don't know. All right, what monkey knuckle garbage are we doing today?
Well, look, you have a white man right next to you. Do you feel at home?
He don't count. He was here already. Sympathizer. Now.
Oh, God. How do you find
What
out?
do you want?
I'm just. How do
Good
you
Lord.
prove? You told me you had a
Dude.
full. You told me you had a foolproof
I
way.
got pit bull puppies to raise. Got time for this. What?
You told me you had a foolproof way to prove if a woman was a virgin or not.
I got a few of them.
Well, how do you do it?
Okay, here's way number 6. You know, y'all getting all comfy. You know, your lights down low. You got your ripple port, and you know everything's going all
Your what?
nice. Ripple.
What? Ripple.
Ripple.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know.
No, anyway, you about to do the danky wanky. You want to figure out you're the first one. All you got to do is put your finger in your ear, take a little wax, little your own ear wax.
Earwax.
Yep. You get anywhere near her labia minor or major, whichever orchestra part. It doesn't matter. You get close, she go to wiggling. Hey, somebody's been there before you.
Oh, God, an earwax test.
Hey, do the old earwax test. I'm the first one. You're a doctor. You're a man of medical
Medically
science.
proven. It's
Thank
there.
you. There you go.
Ah!
That's one way.
Okay.
Another way.
Oh, God.
She lives in her trailer park. You want to check the gravel in front of her house.
The gravel? Why?
There are a bunch of truck marks all in the front. Gravel ain't nice and even and smooth. You know why? 'Cause people been pulling in and out. In and out. In and out.
He's a coochie tracker.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you in a minute though. I'll take one with some miles over it over a fresh cooter.
Why?
President, stop. This hurts. I got homework to do.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, who wants to hear that all night?
All night. And so, how does the veteran cooter?
Oh, veteran cooter's the best. I'm telling you, I done had some while a chick was frying me eggs. She done it so much she'd get other stuff done while she's doing it.
Oh, God.
Vacuuming. That's great. That's what you want. Who wants somebody who don't know what they're doing? I like a woman knows her way around the baloney pony.
The baloney pony?
I like
Well, thank you, Bickle. We appreciate your insight and expertise. Chuck Doe, what's our next topic? We got to get Bickle out of here.
Okay, so we have BET's president, Deborah Lee.
Oh, maybe
Everyone-
maybe Bickle might need to come back in on BET.
Shout out to Deborah Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a fine kitten right there.
Go ahead, Chuck.
So Deborah Lee, she did an interview and they asked her why BET is losing its intellectual audience. And basically she said that they're programming for brain dead people, and that's.
She admitted this. Is this her? What's our source? Because
it's,
she might not.
Huffington Post.
Really?
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw somebody else under the bus right now.
Who?
I can throw hard.
Hold on, let
her
me finish. Let
Okay.
me finish. So she said that they're programming for brain dead. They're doing brain dead programming, and that when they try to bring in intellectual shows, they have like T.J. Holmes' show.
Right.
And when they try to do that, the black audience, just doesn't show up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are black people stupid? Is that the question? Because let's just be honest. We know that's a loaded question, but let's be honest. At the end of the day, corporations go where the audience is. There's no more TV based on talent. It's based on the corporations that back the programming.
Okay.
Yes or no? So if you have a whole generation of dumb mofos that, listen.
Or a demographic.
You see what I'm saying? But the demographic represents money.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we're not catering to somebody that's not going to bring in money. And if intellectual shows don't bring in money, Deborah Lee is beholden to her corporation and the board and all the people she got to answer to, because she got bosses too.
Go back.
Yeah.
Do you want me to answer that question? Are black people stupid?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
I'm
loaded
gonna-
question, though.
No, it's very simple.
No, go ahead.
Not black people, but most niggas are. Most niggas are stupid.
Yeah, there's this picture I posted on my Facebook
That's
page.
the truth.
If you're on my Facebook page, there's a picture I posted where there's a woman, supposedly a mother. We don't know if it's a mother, but it's a young lady, maybe in her mid to late 20s, and there's two young boys with beanies on, and they're both cupping her butt, and she's holding up, you know, the middle fingers. And her back is turned. I mean, I could show it to you guys. Maybe everybody else can't see it, but if you're friends of mine on Facebook, I got it posted up there, and it's getting a lot of hits, a lot of comments. And I just think, man, we do things that are just so ignorant. Why wouldn't black entertainment television, the president of it, cater to that market? Because that's easy money. Why wouldn't she do that?
Well, here's the problem with that. Black entertainment television, when I say black, I'm taking in Dr. King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Maya
But all of that stuff is
Angelou.
stupid to the new generation.
So
man.
if you say idiotic entertainment television or base level entertainment television or damn fool entertainment television, well, yeah. But when
Damn
you say
fool.
black,
Right.
black is too much. That's too close to me. That's
Well,
too
let's
many
ask
people
the
I love.
doctor. Have you ever watched BET? You know I like to put you in uncomfortable positions, but here it is. When was the last time you...
I don't think I've watched it
Wow.
recently.
Are you a racist?
No.
I mean, have you ever just been curious, like,
This
what
is-
are these
this is
niggas
my-
talking
That is
about?
the most racist thing I've ever
This
heard.
is my token appearance for the week when I come up with the show.
I can-
I'm your
Wow, he done told the truth
token. I'm
today.
your token.
This is my penance for past crimes against black people. I participate on a predominantly Negroid show, and I offer my little help. And this is like going to
I'm not sure about the
homeless
producer.
shelter and feeding the homeless.
Is she black? I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, she's...
But I want to throw something else out because I think what this raises is that I think there's a lot of people that believe that if you are someone who thinks, you're talking down to them.
Ah,
So
yes.
think if you're just someone who pauses to think, you're being arrogant, you're being condescending, and so I can understand, by the way, with this with BET and this woman who they're selling to. You want to sell to people that are impulsive, because impulsive people buy. They don't think. They don't.
Wow.
They don't
Good.
think. Do I need this or don't I need this? Maybe I
Good.
should be putting money aside so I can educate my kids. No, you want to cater to people that are impulsive, and impulsive people do not like to think. I'm not saying it's good or bad. They have chaotic lives.
It's horrible.
It's what?
It's horrible. I'll say it.
Well, say more about that.
Well, I think the doc touched on something really good here. My question is, black people can't be the only impulsive, non-thinking people on planet Earth.
Who cares, though, about the other people?
So why isn't there a white entertainment television?
It'd be called
There
wet.
is.
Wet.
There is.
Wet.
There
Fox,
is.
right?
The
What is
rest
it?
of it. The rest of it, except for Latin entertainment television, is white entertainment television. Are you serious?
But why is the negative stigma so much on black entertainment television? What do white people do that is equivalent, and I'm talking in terms of programming, that is equivalent to BET?
Jersey Shore.
That's what I want. I want more examples of that.
Nanny Nanny Boo Boo or Boo Boo to Boo Doo, whatever that little horrible heifer is.
What?
What's that? The little white girl, about 4 or 5. Nanny Booty Booty Boo Boo. No, that's Snooki. That's
Snooki.
Jersey Shore.
But no, but
Honey
look,
Boo Boo.
but this is what I'm saying, Honey Boo Boo, right? But this is what I'm saying. Snooki is on People magazine because she had a baby. Nobody is saying, "Oh, damn it, that's another child out of wedlock." Nobody's doing that.
No, because there's no white people aren't graded by their goobers.
But I'm just saying, if it was the last time a white woman got really attacked for having a baby.
Octomom. She ain't even white.
No, but it was this big thing. Remember that episode for Murphy Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that about?
And she had the baby.
Murphy Brown had a baby and
Oh, yeah.
she didn't have no baby daddy
Right.
in place. I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I just think it happens so far and few in between. But every time it happens with black people, especially black celebrities, there's some kind of issue.
Because it's real. That's easy. All right, I don't honestly. I don't care how racist this sounds. I don't care what white people, what their plight is. I don't have the latitude to care. I don't have the luxury. Me sitting up and trying
Here's
to
the picture.
compare
Can I
myself.
show the picture? Here's the picture.
Nice ass.
On my Facebook. We got a call. You said nice ass. But let's do this really quickly. Look at the picture. I don't know how big I can get this, but I'm going to take the caller and I'm going to show the picture. Right here. Little boys grabbing mama's ass while she's flipping everybody off. And this is a picture that's floating around on Facebook.
I don't care what y'all think. My babies can touch my ass.
They came out of it. Caller, you're on the Zoe Morning Show.
What's going on, Zoe? What's going on, Doc? What's going on, Geoff?
Hey, man, where you calling from real quick?
Where you from?
Jay Scholar from South Carolina.
Okay, hey, how you doing over there, man?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Chilling, man. South Carolina, man, all we got was some wind and clouds and stuff, but we used to the hurricane weather, but it missed us and went up north.
Good.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
good
to hear.
Glad everything is okay.
Cool.
Talk
but
to us.
I got 2 points to make real quick. I'm at work, so we're going to shoot this in.
Cool.
I actually tweeted this a little bit yesterday. I don't watch TV a lot, and it's basically because it doesn't really entertain me. And I was watching the Cosby Show yesterday, and they had my man, I can't remember him, but the dad of the girl from Coming to America and Cliff. They both were doctors, you know, dark-skinned brothers, and they're both doctors analyzing each other, dramatic, you know, a little drama, a little comedy. And I was just like, man, where can we find this? 2 African-American doctors, successful, having, you know, bantering about conversation and stuff on TV now. You can't find that. And as a comment to you, the picture, I saw it, it's horrible. When did this ratchet behavior become the norm? Like, why is this cool now? That's what the girl did the picture for, to get a ratchet reaction, to become instantaneous social media stars, Instagram stars, doing stuff for likes. Everybody wants to be famous. Nobody wants to be stable or I guess, you know, trying to advance. Everybody just wants the now, the instant gratification.
Right.
And I think the ratchet behavior, plus the fact that they consciously don't give us the option to choose between ratchetness and intelligence.
Well, you know what? You make a great point, and I want to say thank you, Jay, for reaching out. We really appreciate that. Was good stuff. But this is what I caution against. This is what I caution against.
What do you?
Everything in the universe has polarity and balance. And a lot of times we'll get in trouble. I mean, it's beautiful to see Cliff Huxtable, Bill Cosby, and these guys going back and forth, 2 doctors. But what happens is black people, when they tend to get something, they tend to want to just deal with people who have. I got something. I need to kick it with people who have something. You get what I'm saying? And what happens is they become isolated based off of their success. You know, I've reached a certain level, so I don't want to go back down, or I don't want to go back to where I'm from. That balance is this. There are some great people in the have-nots. There are some excellent human beings who are impoverished, who don't have a great education, who, if they had some kind of relation or connection with one of those bougie cats, you know what I'm talking about, how black people judge and condemn those who don't have.
I like to call them the Altadinans.
The Altadinans, here's a story. I am from Paso in Altadena.
Yes, sir.
Right?
You know who I'm talking about.
Right, it's a Spanish word. Alta means upper.
Yes.
Dena, city. Upper city. Paso is lower city, right? And those from Pasadena are from, but Pasadena is a very rich city, and Altadena is too.
Yeah, but you can't tell them Altadena Negroes.
I'm just saying.
Tell the story.
I'm just saying, though. At the end of the day, I'm just tired of black people judging each other based off of benchmarks of success that we didn't even create for ourselves. We validate our success based off of our acceptance from the people who established the benchmark of success.
Exactly.
Listen, white people, no offense to our present company.
Yeah, when we talk about whitey, we don't mean you.
Thank
you.
Okay.
Right. You're slighty, not whitey. But most people, slightly white, because he's with us now.
Slighty?
But I'm just saying.
That's brilliant.
Most white people don't know about this particular philosopher, and I quote him all the time. Jiddu Krishnamurti. This is a black man from India, a Brahmin class man, born in 1895, May 12th. This guy was worshipped as the Messiah, as the reincarnation of Buddha, the world teacher. A white man from Switzerland or someplace gave him his ancestral lands and castle, 5,000 acres. This dude flunked out of Oxford. Now, it doesn't mean he was dumb. He was exceedingly intelligent and held conversations for over 70 years with some of the world's most prominent people. What we look at as New Age philosophy basically comes from this guy. Everybody blueprinted and patterned their stuff off of his original thought. He wasn't a scholar. If he was here today, black people would look down on him. I'm talking about black people of note. Black people I studied at Hampton.
Stop right there. I studied that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, not everyone is a scholar. But just because they're not a scholar doesn't make them intellectual. It doesn't make them not or you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean they're not intellectual.
Well, dude, I know.
There's too much judgment going on in the black community.
I'm just going to put it out there. I know 20 people or more who fit this description. Their parents migrated, because that's what happened. The Great Migration of the South.
I went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
The hard-working, less educated cats went straight north. Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that was trying to get some education came this way.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was somewhere in the late 70s.
West came west.
Somewhere in the late 70s, there was a real estate boom that catapulted these people into the middle and upper middle class. So they started treating their kids different than their parents treated them. And the result is 40-something-year-old black people that went off to college in the 80s, learned how to step, came back home,
learned how to step,
and is living in their mama and daddy house waiting on them to die.
Wow.
I know a bunch of people that fit that description.
I wonder.
And can't conjugate a damn verb, but it'll tell you, oh, yeah, I went to Tuskegee. Yeah, but you graduated from Cal State L.A. Now, you don't tell people that.
Well, that's not a bad university.
No, it's not a bad university, but they don't mention it. They don't mention Cal State L.A.
They tested me at Tuskegee.
Yeah, no, you went to Tuskegee.
And got tested on?
A few too many frat parties, and now your ass is back here. But you don't tell that part of the story.
And, Doc, how do you interface? Like I know this is all new to you, like hearing all of the dirty laundry and the intricacies of the black community. How do you take all of this in, and how do you process it? Like, when you leave here and you see black people of different class divisions, how do you process that?
I roll up my power windows.
Keep driving past the Negroes.
I had no idea these Negroes were that bad. Oh, my God. I thought it was just butt shaking at 2 in the morning on BET, but now
he said he's never seen BET. So.
Oh, that's right.
You know, I don't. To be honest, I don't really. I think I am gender, color, generation blind. But one of the things that I do notice is I think there's more and more people are adrenaline junkies. So they favor excitement over everything else. And every time the excitement goes away, they will do anything to get it back. That's why people are trying to one-up each other with these daring, ridiculous kinds of things. And the problem is, it's great to be on an adrenaline high, but what happens is when it goes away, it is like dropping off of cocaine. I mean, it's your internal cocaine, and so you do anything to keep it going, and that's why people have to one-up each other. And I think one of the greatest tragedies is that people are no longer satisfied or fulfilled. They go for excitement and gratification. That's all that's all many people understand. And when the immediate gratification or excitement goes away, they do whatever they can to pump it up again, and so you end up building nothing.
Wow. And that is, he just described so many people's lives.
And that's not just black.
That's across the
too many
board.
people.
Yeah. He just described most people's lives. And it's frustrating because I was talking to someone the other day and I said, people choose mediocrity over excellence because it's safe. And you know, and that adrenaline is safe. I want to feel something different. I want to feel excitement. I want to move away from really the reality of where I am as a person in life.
In fact, if let me try it with the two of you. If I use the word satisfied or fulfilled, a lot of people who are adrenaline junkies would look at me, well, don't you talk down to me like that. That's all a bunch of BS. That's all this highfalutin stuff. And I don't think feeling satisfied or fulfilled is all that highfalutin, but a lot of people that are excitement junkies and adrenaline junkies, they'll look at you like you're a fool. You're a fool. That takes too long. And I think what happens is it's interesting. I had a dinner with about a year ago with a guy named Norman Lear.
Norman Lear.
Wow.
Wow.
And a guy who was, the guy who changed television. And I have a mentor named Warren Bennis, who's a big leadership guy. And I asked them, I said, what's the greatest danger for the world? And they looked at each other, and they looked at me, and they said, expediency, that everyone is in a rush. And when you're in a rush all the time, important things fall through the cracks.
Yeah. That's real stuff. Chuck Doe, what's her stripper name?
I don't have one.
Studious. I'm getting into this Studious Chocolate.
Studious Chocolate, man. It just works, man. Listen, and I'm telling you, she's getting hits on YouTube. People saying she's very beautiful, and she is. I mean, can you imagine?
Sweating, it smells like Hershey's chocolate in here.
Oh, God. She is beautiful. What's our next topic, honey?
Okay, so we have black and unemployed because of hip-hop.
Oh, geez.
So according to the United States Department of Labor, they're saying that among black males ages 20 and older, unemployment rate is at 14.2%. And in an article written by Chico Norwood, he was explaining that comes from the influence that hip-hop has on a lot of young black males, and that because of rappers like Jay-Z and Kanye West and their look and what they have and what they represent, which isn't like, he doesn't think it's like a good image for black men, and that when they go for these jobs, the employer is turning them down because they're looking like rappers and bagging and stuff.
What's his name?
Chico Norwood.
Rule number 74. Never take a dude named Chico serious. Chico.
Last Chico I know was in jail and was a part of a crackhead family of musicians.
Yes.
Oops.
And before him, there was And the Man.
Oh, God.
Okay? I don't take him serious, first off, right there.
Chico and the Man.
Chico, don't be discouraged.
But
the man, he ain't so hard to understand.
Wow.
I know. That was my show.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
But he's saying the way that rappers dress and the language they use and their gold teeth and tattoos that they wear.
But wait a minute. Hold on. There's too many stops along the way before you get to the job interview.
Thank you.
There's school, there's mom, there's dad, there's home, there's uncles, there's somebody that I'm sure you heard somewhere. Don't sag.
Wear a suit.
Right, wear a suit.
Wear some shoes you can't play basketball in.
Right, right. Don't sag at a job interview. Like, I'm sure you've heard somewhere.
Blame that on hip-hop.
And you ain't even got to hear it in the family sphere. You can hear it at the local park. How many of us going to the recreation center, at the rec center, at the park? That's a real situation. Jackie Robinson, Pasadena. Villa Park, Pasadena. Victory Park, Pasadena. Loma Alta Park, Pasadena. How many of you remember Jephthah and Sita, the summer jobs you used to have? Somebody done told somebody, whether it's at home or not.
Don't be going in that white man job dressing like you finna help somebody move.
Because somebody got an old grandmama slave that's going to tell you not to offend the white man that's about to bestow upon you a bi-weekly check. Geoff, please, do the slave grandmama voice and tell her how important it is to get off the county.
Baby, this county ain't about nothing. You up in here with this powdered milk and this hard cheese making these babies constipated. I'm trying to tell you, you need to get up out of here and make something out yourself. And the first thing you need to do is stop looking for a job in your damn house shoes. All right? House shoes is a metaphor for being unprepared. And y'all is just a bunch of walking metaphors. I wouldn't hire you my damn self. Look at you, can't pull your pants up. How you gonna fill out a job application pulling at your damn khakis? Dickies ain't no, if you want to wear Dickies, you supposed to work in the warehouse. But first, before you get a job in the warehouse, You got to wear a suit. That's all I'm saying, baby. Grandma love you. God bless you.
You don't want to disrespect the white man and his rule.
Don't disrespect the white. These are good white folks. If they look here.
These good white folks.
Okay, he done look right at your resume and seen your name LaSavion, and he's still gonna give you the interview, baby. That's good white folks.
Normally they don't play with
Now, they ain't
LaSavion.
playing around. I wouldn't let LaSavion wash my car. What kind of name is LaSavion? You gonna let LaSavion cut your pancreas out? No.
Oh, God.
You don't let LaSavion nowhere near no scalpel.
Nowhere near no.
You can't even go to medical school with one of them old made-up names. You can't. How you gonna go?
Oh, God.
Messed up nigga French name. Ain't nobody gonna let you nowhere near no. Baby, you want some respect. You need to change your name to Clark.
Okay, cut to you're at the job interview.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so,
Is LaSavion here? Hey, yeah. Yeah. This your office? Oh, this is nice, homie. Yeah. So, I'm up in here for that starting level position. Yeah, I see here on your resume it says that you are a master at Madden 14.
Madden 2014?
Yes. Do you have any other skill? Hey, man, Madden 2014 ain't even out, and I'm the master of it. That ought to be something right there.
Oh.
We'll call you.
And the reality of it is, it's not hip-hop's fault.
At all.
That's the reality.
We're not talking hip-hop. What we're talking about, you go to a job, you have to earn the right to be you by being successful for them.
Wow.
That's real.
You know, and if you're there saying, hey, look at me and I'm an exception to the rule, you haven't earned the right until you've gotten them results.
Yeah,
and then when you get results, maybe you have the chance to do what you want. Steven Spielberg did a bunch of movies before he earned the right to do some of these really
crazy, expensive, imaginative works. Right?
He had to do Jaws and Jurassic Park before he did some of these things like Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan, which he probably never could have sold to anyone.
You're right.
So you have to earn the right, and so you got to look. Unfortunately, you got to look a little bit like the company that you're applying for.
You got to do the Trojan horse thing, man.
Right. Okay. Now I'll flip it the other way. Hip hop may be anti-establishment, and I believe that. Most black men are anti-establishment, and whenever you see a black man that's pro-establishment, what you see stereotypically is a whitewashed assimilator.
Whitewashed assimilator.
Right. That guy's not going to make any waves. He's hey, I'm just going to fit in.
Hi, my name is Fred. I'm here.
Right. That's going to be that guy. So when we look at hip hop,
hey buddy, can I see you in here?
Even with the high levels of nigritude in the music, and when I say nigritude, I mean ain't nothing sexy about
You can be different without being rebellious.
But I think the rebellious mind is a creative mind. I think the rebellious mind, because only the rebel will stand against and ask the question. Look at rebel in the context of, and I'm going to name 3 people. Look at rebel in the context of Muhammad Ali. Look at rebel in the context of Martin Luther King.
Okay, I'm getting warm.
Let me finish.
You're upsetting me right now.
Look at rebel in the context of Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh my God.
So my point is that rebel nature is good when it is directed in purpose.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a rebel with a cause and a rebel without a clue.
And that damn fool on the couch. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay,
but that's why you got to let me do the juxtaposition of the point.
Okay.
The juxtaposition of the point is it's easy to say these Negroes are shiftless and no good and point at hip-hop and say hip-hop is the reason for that. But at the end of the day, I can take Master P, I can take, what's the big fat dude that ain't a real gangster but claimed a real gangster's
Looks
name?
like a heated wax figure of 50 Cent.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
I could take P. Diddy. I could take, Too
Short.
Listen, at the end of the day, they're no different than Deborah Lee from BET. Because Deborah Lee said, I'm going to cater to a mentality to keep the money coming through so my stockholders and these other people who run this company are satisfied that we're meeting the bottom line. They do the same thing with this content, and they in and of themselves are entrepreneurs.
I get all that.
They in and of themselves are rebels because they're outside of the system.
I get all of that.
And that's no different than, say, Bill Gates, who dropped out of college. No different than Steve Jobs, who dropped out of college.
I get that.
And no different from Bronson, who owns Virgin, who dropped out of high school.
I get that.
He's a billionaire.
Billionaire.
They're anti-system.
Absolutely.
And dude, you read Steve Jobs' book, he'll even tell you in his book there was times he didn't bathe for weeks.
Yes. Oh,
Nobody say nothing to him.
That ain't got nothing to do
he
with
come
success.
to work smelling like a monkey that just had sex in a porno.
Oh.
But he comes in and say, we're going to do this iPod. Well, what is an iPod? Could you wash first? No, I will not.
There's a difference between anti-system and what did they say at Apple? Think differently. So there's a difference between seeing something differently and then pursuing it and just being anti for the sake of being anti.
Well, we've already made the point that anti with a purpose is where the power is.
Okay, everybody here, stop.
We will not.
Hippity hop.
I am a
mob,
rebel.
Stop.
No.
All right. There needs to be a distinction drawn
Between
the young, hot entrepreneur that happens to be from the hood and the lazy, shiftless, I'm going to be a hip-hop star and don't want to learn how to read. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have my own blah, 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 and
True.
don't want to work.
True.
Lazy, trifling niggas. That's who I'm talking about. And they have nothing to do with Master P, Dr. King, Malcolm X, or anybody else on your list. And these dudes exist in droves. And I'm sorry, I don't think it's fair to blame hip-hop on them or them on hip-hop, at least not mine.
and no one has, but what I'm saying is if we start when they're children and uplift and promote the rebel spirit of those like Gandhi,
Absolutely.
like Malcolm,
Yes.
like Muhammad
Yes.
Ali, like Martin Luther King, now we're creating a truly dangerous society.
We are.
You know why it's dangerous? It's not dangerous for the sake of danger. It's not dangerous just because we want to rebel against everything. It's dangerous because it's free psychologically.
Yeah, I get that. I do.
Most people are imprisoned psychologically, and they have fear as a personal advisor.
Ooh.
Fear is dictating their decisions as they move forward. I don't want to lose this job. I don't want to upset the status quo. I'm trying to fit in and get mine.
I get all that.
To me, fear is related to selfishness. We got to take a quick break. Zoe, what mornings? We going crazy up in here. Black people. DJ Mr. Number Wonderful. I don't know what that is. Who is it? Soup Dog?
Snoop Dogg, as in Calvin Brodus? Dude, thank you. Thank you for the master plan.
But that's vicious.
Just looking inside my hand, so I'm sorry,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
if you don't know the lyrics to that, you need to just
I can't think of them right
just
now.
go on back to the Gap Band
talking about-
records.
let me tell you something.
You know.
Rakim, and I had the chance to actually say this to his face. Rakim was so dope that he started out and hip hop became what he was already. That's like the Model T coming with anti-lock brakes and GPS.
Okay, here we go.
That's how dope Rakim is. He's so dope. You can put on.
You saying he old and modern at the same time?
Yes,
That's
you
a
can put on
classic.
Eric B for president, and it sounds like you made it yesterday if you just listen to his lyrics.
Listen, if you're just tuning in, it's the Zoe What Morning Show. Of course, I'm Zoe Williams, the philosopher, who you just heard speaking. That's Geoff Brown, the comedian. And, of course, our resident doctor, author of Just Listen, Dr. Mark Goulston, man. Great book, great book. Discover the secret to getting through to absolutely anyone. Just Listen, Mark Goulston. And I'm telling you, shortly, February 2013, I'll be holding up my book saying the same thing. It's The Relationship Dismount, written by Zoe Williams. How to Stick the Landing When Breaking Up with Somebody. Incredible work. I'm telling you, it only took me 5 weeks to write it. So check this out. This is what I need you to do. I need you to text me, ZO space 90210. That's how you get in contact with me. I'm going to be releasing shortly, I will release a sample chapter of this book. And when I tell you, it's a cold piece of work. We appreciate what you do. Call us right now at 323-965-1600. This is what we're doing. Hey, the topics have been crazy. Chuck Doe, do we have another topic?
We do. We have, in Michigan, they're trying to pass a law where if your child is truant 10 or more times to school, that the people on welfare will not receive their welfare check.
Is that good or bad?
Wow.
I think. I mean, is that good or bad?
That's bad.
Why?
They're trying to make the parents more responsible for kids getting an education.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who can argue with that, really? I mean, why do your children have to be truant 10 or more times unless we have empirical data that says they're truant because they're sick or they're truant because of their impoverished condition? Then I could say, oh, you're not at school because maybe you're sick or maybe you can't get a doctor's appointment. It has to be something like that. But if it's you're truant because mama got a weave appointment, or you understand what I'm saying?
Mama just ain't paying no attention. Yeah, but that's wrong from both ends, okay? To penalize a group of people for not doing what they're supposed to do and then taking away certain tools like the I will put my foot in your ass up to my hip tool.
Oh, you mean like if you're truant on your child support as a father, they take your driver's license away.
Yeah, so now you can't drive to go get a job.
You can't drive to go get a job.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, how do you justify that?
I think...
Like, how does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't. And you talking to a cat that's going through it right now. Okay, child support is so horrible. I was paying child support for somebody that was 25 years old and still getting billed for them.
Well, I guess they figure you owe.
No, not back. Not back child support. Like next month.
Like
next month you owe for this dude.
But why?
Because like an idiot, I went to court to set the child support up with right, wrong, and common sense instead of a lawyer. Right, wrong, and common sense has
don't work
no
in the court.
place in a court of law.
Wow.
You're going to wind up losing money or your freedom or both.
Well, let me ask the doctor.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys, because part of what we're talking about here is people talk about responsibility, who has responsibility, you should be responsible. But, boy, when you talk about holding someone accountable, and if they're not accountable, there are consequences to pay, people will arch their backs. I mean,
it's true.
No, really, there's a funny thing. I remember a story where a guy, where a kid says to his dad, "Hey, I want to do this. I'll be responsible. I'll take full responsibility. Hey, let me do this." And Dad says, "Well, what does taking responsibility mean?" And the kid says, "Well, I'll be responsible." And Dad says, "Well, do you know that means that if it doesn't go right, you have to pay the consequences?" And the son said, "Well, I didn't agree to that." And the father said, "Well, what'd you agree to?" "Well, if it doesn't go right, I'll say I'm sorry."
Wow.
And that's it. I'll say I'm sorry. Yeah. That's accountability. So I think the issue is, I think unless you can hold someone accountable, and what holds them accountable is a consequence, some kind of consequence, then it's all.
But I think, and you make a great point, Doc, but I think where we are divergent in the point that's being made, where we split, is that, yes, there should be a consequence, but shouldn't the consequence match the crime?
Absolutely.
Sometimes, especially in the black community, if white people get, sentenced for cocaine, it's a lighter sentence. If black people get sentenced for a different version of cocaine, crack, it's 15 to 25, 15 to life.
That's not fair.
So there isn't.
That's not true.
We have to be honest, though.
That is not true.
We've had so many stories. Hold on, let me finish the point.
It's one thing. If you're sentenced for crack, it's another.
Well, let's go back.
Now, who says that it's racist just because white people use more powder than black people.
Okay, let's go back.
We're talking about the sentencing
No,
process.
let's go back to what Chuck said. The news item she said was that if kids are truant more than 10 times, they're going to lose their welfare. So if the idea is how do you prevent kids from being truant more than 10 times, what's an alternate solution? I'm not saying that what their reaction is right, and I agree with you. It's probably way overboard. But if the problem is we got to get kids to go to school, stay in school, because if they're truant, they're not going to learn. They're going to fail. So what's the solution?
We get back to what Zoe said earlier. The solution is those who have coming and in contact indirectly to those who don't, because most young black kids...
It's the teaching of life skills. This all ties into what you're saying and what we were saying earlier. The kid wearing the sagging pants trying to go to a job interview.
But let's say the kid doesn't want to learn. You can't even drag them to water, much less make them drink.
But here's the thing. I always look at our culture, our social game rules, our society as an aquarium. And whenever you're immersed in a culture, you pick up traits and ideas and beliefs from that culture. We've got to intervene with these children at a young age and then give them the tools that they need as youth. Listen, we can't be Furious Styles. You remember the movie? You know what I'm talking about, right? Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
The mama raised the baby and get to the point where I can't deal with him. Now I'm going to drop him off with you. Don't give me a damaged child at 15, 16 years old and expect me to work a miracle.
Just fix it all.
You see what I'm saying? We got to intervene with these kids while they're young and really start infusing into their belief system what it means to be a man, what it means to be responsible.
So who's going to do the intervening?
We are.
Who's the we? The parents?
I'm pointing at myself. This, to me, like, remember when I first met you, Doc? What Doc said was, Zoe, your show makes me feel like you're really trying to help people. That's where you're at your strongest, when you're trying to help people. I believe doing shows like this, having these kind of conversations, I believe when you hear truth, when you hear something that is spiritually rooted and grounded, it does something to your DNA. You don't need a lot of explanation.
Yes.
Something I don't know what they were talking about, but something hit me that said that was the truth, and I need to do something with that. This is the purpose of the shows that I do, and I think we got it. That's why this weekend I'm gonna be out there with some kids that need to understand this kind of stuff. Things like time is the only currency that you can never get back. So be mindful of where you spend it, because you don't get no receipt for life. You see what I'm saying? It just, you spend it, it's gone. You don't get that back. You can lose $20 and then run into somebody or do an odd job and get $40. You see what I'm saying? You can
you can't get 10 seconds back.
Get 10 seconds back. So I'm going to teach these kids that. You see what I'm saying? That's what we got to do. We got to take some ownership of our community, and we got to start with a group of kids that are young and make that thing go across the country.
Here's the chief question that nobody seems to ask or want to answer. Where do we draw the line and go, you know what? Like my man in Lean On Me, Morgan Freeman's character. He drew the line and said, okay, you shiftless fools, see you. I'm going to march you to the edge of the earth and kick you off. That's one of the chief problems.
But that goes back to the point. That goes back to the point earlier about being rebellious. When that guy Joe Clark locked the doors, he was in direct opposition of city code.
I have no problem with that.
But there was a fearlessness there.
Yes.
And whenever there's mediocrity, whenever there's mundanity, fear is making the choice. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be seen as a dissenter.
Okay, well, all that brings me back to Doe. Yes. Answer this question and only this one. At what age, at what point in criminal behavior, at what point in truancy, at what point do you go, you know what? You the toughest dude in the world, so figure it out your way. We gonna let precipice come and change your mind, if at all.
Right.
The rest of these, we gonna fix. At what age is that? At what point is that? When do we write niggas off? It's some niggas that need writing off.
No, we cannot write niggas off.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because everything requires a balance. And even niggas have qualities that are incredible. They just need to be given something.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Look,
bruh,
there ain't no accident. Listen, there's no accident that Chief Keef, as an artist, as an entity, as a being, as a purpose, is as popular as he is. We might not agree with what he's perpetuating.
Dude.
But if, let me just say, but if somebody believed in him, I believe the fact that nobody believed in him is what created the person he is today.
Oh, okay.
If somebody believed in him, he would be something different.
I am not talking about...
I'm tired of niggas giving up on niggas.
No, dude.
We all niggas.
I can't let that fly.
Listen,
okay?
we had this argument in the School Days movie.
This is what's going to...
Samuel L. Jackson, we always gonna be niggas.
Yes, and then...
regardless of you going to school.
Larry Fishburne,
yeah,
you
man.
are not niggas. I disagree, okay? I see it simply as this. This dude, Chief Keef...
Were the people on Black Street, the Black Wall Street, were they niggas?
Some of them.
When them white folk came in and burnt down Black Wall Street, they was niggas.
They was on some nigga mess.
When the black men who put together the boule, the
they
parent...
was on some slave
I'm
mess.
just saying, the parent of the Divine Nine, the boule, when they put together the boule, they did that because we can't go kick it with black people that aren't educated as we are, and we are not accepted by white people. So we got to create our own little society.
Yeah, educated as we are.
But guess what they did in creating their own society? The boule got their blueprint from the Skull and Bones manual.
Thank you. So here, you missing me.
I'm just saying, man, we can't cut out our counterbalance.
Can I get this out?
We need them.
Please, can I just have...
I don't appreciate
an uninterrupted 60 seconds.
Yes, you can.
All right. All I'm saying
blah, blah, blah.
is... You so stupid. All I'm saying is purely this. A cat like Chief Keef.
Right.
You're not selling me on the brilliance of black
I didn't say
people.
it was brilliant.
No. The brilliance, the intelligence. You're not selling me on that. Okay? I get that. What I am saying is that people, men, women, get to a certain point where the only thing that is going to straighten them out is coming face to face with precipice. A car flip over, catch on fire, and they get pulled out narrowly. A gun go off in their face, and nothing happened. Something like that. All the begging and classes and talking about that is moot at a certain point. You need precipice, and I'm gonna tell you who can be that precipice sometime. And I hate keep bringing his name up.
Farrakhan.
That's it. If you don't have...
No, his time is... And I'm not saying Farrakhan is not highly respected by me, because he is. I mean, this to me, that's one of the most respected black men on planet Earth right now.
Yes.
However, I know Farrakhan knows this in his soul. He is close to passing the baton. And I'm not talking about in life. I'm talking about his station.
His station. His billet.
At the end of the day, we have transcended where he is. Not to say where he is not still valuable to us. It is. But we need a young voice to rise up and inspire the greatness of people, of our own community. I'm just saying.
I get that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get that.
Listen, Farrakhan is still out in the streets right now. He in Brooklyn. He in Chicago. He out in the streets.
And there's some cats he write off.
But the point I'm making is, at the end of